You want to break into cybersecurity, but you're stuck in a classic catch-22. You need experience to get your first job, but you can't get a job to gain that experience. The entry-level market feels broken, and the conflicting advice is enough to make you want to quit before you even start. We are cutting through that noise right now. By the end of this video, you will have a step-by-step, zero-fluff roadmap to go from a complete beginner to a job-ready SOC analyst by 2026. Before we touch a single tool, you have to calibrate your mindset. Cybersecurity is a marathon of constant learning, where today's threats are tomorrow's old news. You cannot rely on rote memorization. The core operating system of a successful defender is relentless curiosity, the drive to ask why 5 times, and treat every alert as an investigation into how a system is being forced to behave. Many beginners fall into the trap of thinking they need to master cloud, cryptography, and forensics all at once. You don't. Nobody does. The most effective way to start is to specialize, and we are narrowing your focus strictly to the specific skills of a Tier 1 SOC analyst. Reading books and watching tutorials will only take you so far. The only way to manufacture the experience employers demand is to adopt a philosophy of build it, break it, fix it. You are going to create your own experience from scratch, bypassing the traditional gatekeepers entirely. Methodical. Step 1 is building your technical bedrock. Think of computer networks as the circulatory system of the digital world. As an analyst, you are a doctor diagnosing anomalies within that system. To spot the disease, you first have to know exactly what healthy traffic looks like. This illustrates the TCP/IP three-way handshake, a SYN, SYN-ACK, and ACK. Deviations here reveal early network scanning. To see these conversations, you need a packet analyzer like Wireshark. It intercepts traffic, applies filters, and reads raw, unencrypted data flowing between machines in real time. While Wireshark passively listens to network traffic, a tool like Nmap actively knocks on doors. You use Nmap to scan target machines, identify open ports, and figure out exactly what vulnerable software is running on them. Next, you have to understand the operating systems where these attacks actually execute. This means building muscle memory for command line operations in Linux and learning how to navigate Windows event logs in Active Directory. You practice all of this safely by building a home lab. Using a hypervisor like VirtualBox, you will create an isolated private network on your computer containing an attacker machine, like Kali Linux, and an intentionally vulnerable victim machine. With that lab built, you can execute a scan, launch a safe interaction against the victim, and analyze the resulting packets. Repeating this isolated loop forms the essential workflow for all future incident response and threat hunting. Now that you're speaking the language of networks, it's time to start thinking like a defender. Every alert you evaluate comes down to protecting the CIA triad: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. This is the MITRE attack framework, a standardized language mapping attacker tactics to known techniques. To track these company-wide, we use a SIEM. This security information and event management system acts as a central nervous system, aggregating millions of logs into one dashboard. As a Tier 1 analyst, your primary job is to monitor that SIEM. We will use specific search languages, like Splunk's SPL, to filter through the noise and hunt for the malicious needle hiding inside a massive haystack of normal activity. When you find something suspicious in the SIEM, you pivot to your EDR, or Endpoint Detection and Response tool. EDR acts like a high-powered microscope on a single computer, giving you a perfect process-level timeline of exactly what files were changed and what network connections were made. You will also be working alongside AI. By 2026, AI-driven triage systems will automatically reduce the volume of false positives. Analysts then validate these findings and investigate the novel threats that require human intuition. By integrating the MITRE framework with your SIEM and EDR, you transition from a passive observer of network traffic into an active investigator. You gain the ability to translate raw, chaotic data into a clear, actionable threat narrative. We've arrived at the biggest hurdle. How do you prove your provenance to an employer if you have no prior job history? You stop asking for experience and you start documenting your own. Your first step is to take your private home lab and make it public. Create a GitHub repository and document your setup process, your virtual network configurations, and the reasoning behind your architecture choices. This mock incident response report shows exactly what you need to build next. As you complete exercises, create detailed write-ups that feature a clear summary, a structured attack timeline, and direct mappings to the MITRE ATT&CK framework, all backed by screenshots of your SIEM evidence. You generate the material for these reports by treating platforms like TryHackMe and Let's Defend as your daily workout gym. Completing simulated challenges every week ensures you have a continuous stream of fresh technical artifacts. A living portfolio of these documented threat hunts serves as irrefutable proof of your capability. It overrides the traditional HR requirement for entry-level work experience because it visually demonstrates that you can already do the job. With your skills honed and your portfolio built, you are ready to approach certifications. These titles function as filters for HR departments, providing the specific keywords needed to bypass automated resume scanning software. Your first target should be the CompTIA Security Plus. It is a vendor-neutral exam that proves you understand the baseline vocabulary of the industry, getting your resume into the hands of a real person. For practical validation, pursue the Blue Team Level 1 certification. It is a 24-hour, hands-on exam where you respond to a simulated corporate incident. Passing it is direct proof of your incident response capabilities. But do not fall into the trap of certification hell. Accumulating a long list of multiple choice badges without the practical portfolio to back them up will actively hurt your chances with technical hiring managers. When you reach the technical interview, they will ask how you triage an alert. Do not recite a textbook definition. Use your portfolio. Tell them exactly how you investigated a simulated ransomware outbreak using Splunk, identified the initial access vector, and mapped the tactics to MITRE. Combining a mindset of relentless curiosity with a publicly documented home lab and a few targeted certifications is the formula. Put in the reps, build your proof, and you will launch your career as a highly compensated, job-ready defender in 2026.